Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies, inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us. That's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Dark Destinations.
These may be end times, night creature. Why would a few more casualties trouble me?
Because their blood will join yours.
A radio drama anthology.
You are wrong.
How you figure? Every merc on Mongo is hunting you down.
Not you. Your partner. He said I didn't have a ray gun.
Full cast performances set in the haunted corners of the globe.
Darkness is coming for you.
That's the fear that haunts me. Sleep! Ah!
Dark Destinations by Father Malone at weirdingwaymedia.com.
Weirding Way Media.
Welcome back to Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, where this season we're taking a look at George A. Romero's 1980s series Tales from the Darkside. Sharing the Midnight View with me are the Projection Booth's Mike White.
Never tell me the odds.
And the Culture Cast, Chris Stachiw.
Double or nothing?
Okay. Tonight we're taking a look at two episodes from season one. They are The Odds and Mookie and Pookie. Now
It hurts. It hurts. That title hurts.
Yeah. And we became a children's podcast all of a sudden, real quickly. And Mookie and Pookie. Like, okay.
It is most certainly the title you were never expecting on Tales from the Darkside. So at least that's something. Now, The Odds. This is season 1, episode 4. It originally aired on October the 21st, 1984. Happy Halloween, 11-year-old me. This was written by James Stephen Sadwith from a story by Carol Lucia Satria. This was also directed by James Stephen Sadwith. This one stars Danny Aiello, Tom Noonan, who also wrote the music for this episode. It also stars Robert Weil, who is a human cartoon character if you've ever seen one. He ran the mailroom at the Hudsucker Industries. And
Blue Letter!
Yeah, exactly. And of course, he was Marino back in Pelham of Taken 1, 2, 3 back in the day.
Come on. Watch your language. There's a lady present. Yeah.
He's so good.
I love him.
Also, as a goon, also from the Hudsucker Proxy, is Mario Tedisco, who has no lines in it, but was in the Hudsucker mailroom as well, and was Drop Johnson in Miller's Crossing, the boxer that the Dane beats the shit out of. The bellowing man that appears in every Coen Brothers movie. This is the story of a bookie who won't turn down a bet and a mystery man who can't lose. Chris Stachiw, what did you think of this episode?
I enjoyed it. I did not see the kind of, excuse me, to use a wrestling parlance, the double twist or the double turn at the end. I did not see that coming. I thought that was rather well written. I think it was a pretty good, Jesus. I think overall for me, it was a pretty good episode. However, I am glad once again that these episodes are only 22 minutes because it definitely felt like one that if we were watching it on another show, read that as Night Gallery or something, or some of the other anthology shows that we've done, I think they would have gotten a little too much with this story. And I think 22 minutes is enough. I enjoyed it. And my previous feelings on some of the people in this episode aside, everybody is great.
I really like this. And talking about that 22 minutes, wow. So tight. Not a shot wasted. Danny Aiello, he never even leaves the booth the entire time he's in this episode. I kind of love that he just is stationary this entire time. Everything worked for me with this episode. It just flew by so that at the end of it, I was like, wow, okay, what a nice, tight story. Nothing wasted. And I feel like I've been taken on a little journey. Thank you so much, Tales from the Darkside.
I concur. This was a really great episode. It's a downer ending that's a happy ending. That's quite a trick. As it began, I couldn't help but also feel a little bit of Night Gallery going on here. Just that this is an example of an episode of a Rod Serling special, right? This simple man with a simple code battling this crushing outside force while he's maintaining his dignity because he's a man. So it's exactly the type of story Rod would have written, but it's so contemporary and not purple prosed at all. The dialogue is naturalistic and to the point. And as you said, Mike, economical. My God, this script is so goddamn tight. It's over a series of days. They have 22 minutes to do it. It's insane. That's like, what, 7 minutes per fucking... No, not even 7 minutes, because there's a beginning and a minute end. This is actually a 20-minute segment. I don't know. I'm very impressed by it. Sign that this is 1984, the ruler calculator combo that plays notes with every button. Remember those?
It was so cool. So cool and so cutting edge.
We're gonna see a lot of bleeding edge technology here on Tales from the Darkside this season.
Hey, got a calculator that makes noise. Do 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 do. Oh my God. Like the fact that the episode stops and lets him do it is just like, oh, this was such a magical thing, wasn't it? I can't wait to talk about voice. Oh, we're not on that one yet. Voice synthesizers, another new technology coming soon from your friends at Tales from the Darkside.
Yeah, though I do really like how they have the whole ticking, like literal ticking clock in this episode, and that each time an hour goes by, you hear that little chime. That was a really smart thing, and I really like the twist at the end, because I was like, I think I know what's happening here. This is nice.
So are we to believe that Danny Aiello figured out how to change the clock on the calculator so it would match the clock on the wall that he also changed?
Yes, which I was surprised because he fucking hates that calculator, and that he was able to figure it out and change the time. I mean, what, could he program a VCR as well? This guy's amazing.
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, there is a moment midway through the episode where he says, get out here and show me how to work this thing. So after Noonan has poisoned the betting pool in the area and is taking him down. Hey, you fellas want to go out for a soak? I feel like having a nice, tall, cold, perspiring soak.
You want to go for a schwitz? I could go for a schwitz right now.
Schwitz sounds good.
The schwitz makes sense to me. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. This colloquialism for beer. Give me a soak.
Yeah, soak.
I've
One last
heard of,
soak. Give me
I've
some
heard of-
suds.
I've heard of the word soak used to mean a drunk, but never as a vessel of alcohol.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like when people call it suds. That's also weird. I've heard that. Like, give me some suds. Like,
Suds
hey,
make sense. There's suds foaming off of the top of it. A soak? Like, I don't want to put my hand in it.
Maybe Danny Aiello wants to soak himself in the beer because this episode looks pretty warm too. He's like sweating through a lot of it. It seems very humid. I mean, not to say that what Tom Noonan is wearing makes him look like he should be in South Africa somewhere, but he definitely does look like the Great White Hunter wearing this like insane, this outfit that you would stand out walking down the street, regardless of the time, day, or age. Like, and that's the thing. He walks in and they go, well, I think we recognize this guy, boss. And it's like, how could you not? Like, for real. He's dressed like he's literally going to go shoot an elephant with a giant elephant gun. Like, he's dressed like a ridiculous. And if he looked anything like this in life, this guy would have stood out the moment he walked into your bar.
I don't think he was necessarily garbed this way in his day-to-day life. I think the all-white villainous outfit might be a change of pace for Lacey.
What was up with that credit at the beginning, quote unquote, and Tom Noonan as Lacey? And I'm like, why is this in quotes? That was weird.
Well, it's not Tom Noonan, it's someone else who looks like Tom Noonan.
Oh.
Yes, his double. Hey, what'd you think of Tom Noonan, Chris?
So this happened a long time ago on another show that I do where I had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Noonan. And all I will say is if you didn't want to do the interview, you should have said no, because me having to drag answers out of you is not fun. It does not make for a fun, exciting interview. And I do wonder to this day if he had just been dealing with a bunch of people interviewing him for Anomalisa, which I was interviewing him for, which he, I believe, was nominated for. Or, I mean, that movie was nominated at least. So I'm sure he was having to do the press circuit at the time. But like, it kind of sucked because it kind of colored my judgment on Tom Noonan, someone who I definitely love in everything I've seen him in, including but not limited to Last Action Hero, Manhunter, The X-Files. Like, those are three big places for me that Tom Noonan, I mean, especially in The X-Files, like, kind of almost understated how big of a deal his role in The X-Files is in terms of like a fake out almost. But I liked him here. It's just, I have a hard time whenever I see Tom Noonan in anything kind of suspending my personal feelings. Also, was he 80-yard in this? Or was he doing something with his voice? Because he kind of sounded weird. And he didn't sound like normal Tom Noonan. He sounded like he was putting on like some sort of affectation. Not as bad as what I was doing, but, you know, something where it's like he's trying not to sound like Tom Noonan, at least the way I'm used to hearing Tom Noonan talk.
Well, he was going up and down the vocal range here, and he was whispering a lot, it seemed, and sort of giggling through his dialogue. So
very mischievous, very like he's having a good time here with the role, which I definitely like appreciate that he understands the assignment. This episode really reminded me of some of those Twilight Zone 85 ones with the devil. It's kind of like that. You think it's going there, and then they kind of pull out at the end and do something different. But it's interesting because it is framed similarly to the way that Dan Hedaya one was. And then the Ron Glass one on Twilight Zone, where it's like, here's a person who's having to deal directly with something that is, you know, nigh unexplainable, apparently. And I mean, in this episode, they more or less hang a lantern on the fact that he's dead. They know he knows he's dead. Like, Danny Aiello knows that Tom Noonan's character is dead. He's not asking himself, like, how did this happen? He even says it at the end. He's like, well, this is what's going on, and this is what's happening, and this must be what's going on. And I've just got to assume that the episode, that is what's going on, because it seems like that's the logic it's operating under. But I like that it kind of sets it up one way, but then subverts your expectations right at the end.
I love it, the moment in all speculative fiction where a character sort of wonders aloud what possibly could have happened, and they're nailing it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the episode gives you the narrative gives you nothing else to go off of. So I'm just going to assume that's what you want it to be. And yet, yeah, this is like, right, nail on the fucking head. Danny Aiello is just like, and you must be dead. And you must have figured out how to get all these bets ahead of time. It's like, like you said, Father Malone, like, yes, I believe so.
Sure, why not? Yeah,
Right.
nobody's contradicting him at all. So
yeah, makes about as much sense as anything else at this point.
Yeah, makes as much sense as him traveling around with his doppelganger, the guy that you mentioned already, Father Malone, and all in black. I'm like, who are these two tall dudes now coming? Oh, all right. I guess he's got a friend.
I love that we never see Tom Noonan enter the place. He's just suddenly there. And, the same goes for his black garbed fellow demon. But Drop Johnson shows up as Aiello's a bit of muscle. He's there to take the money away once the bet is complete. And it's like dressed from 1948. He's like a striped suit, a fedora. I'm surprised he didn't have a Tommy gun in his hand.
That was great. Yeah. This whole thing with I know it's very much set in the year that it came out because of the calculator, but this could have been a 1950s thing, no problem whatsoever. And it almost makes more sense when it comes to that because, I always think of bookies and betting parlors and all these things as being a thing of the past, even though I'm sure that they were very well off in the 1980s.
Yeah, certainly. Although, they at least at the beginning, it looks like business is in a downturn. Like, he's about to retire anyway, effectively, and he's going out a king. He never welched on a bet, never. He never turned down a bet. I'm the best, baby. Now give me some more of these stale old French fries.
This what's really weird is all of this that just takes place in this bar. It's like he literally never leaves, huh? It's just gonna sit here, huh? For the entire. Okay,
neither do we. And it doesn't even sleep in the bar. Yeah, it never feels like claustrophobic at all. Again, not only marveling at the economy of the script, but how tight and how interesting it continues to be from beginning to end, that you never tire of that place.
Well, and what's really interesting is when it gets to the moment that again, like we've already mentioned, Danny Aiello's character refuses to welch on a bet. Tom Noonan just keeps winning. And so Danny Aiello has to get to the point where he's like, okay, you're still allowed to bet, but you can't keep telling people who are going to win, who's going to win. I'm not going to have any money. So he gives him kind of all these stipulations and he still wins. But then he makes the final stipulation, which is let's bet that I know the time that you die, and all or nothing essentially. And I like where it gets to when he's the power of human will, human will wills, it wills out. And I love that whole monologue because you see the entire narrative shift as Danny Aiello was talking, because you realize, oh no, while Danny Aiello may not necessarily be the best person in the world, Tom Noonan's character, clearly unalived himself because he made a lot of bad bets, leaving his wife and children without someone to provide for them. That's what I interpret happened. And that's because he was, as Tony Soprano puts it, a degenerate fucking gambler. So, and you think that he is going to be the hero just by the way it's, I guess, positioned narratively. And then Danny Aiello just lets loose on this monologue at the end. And man, it's so this is one of the best moments of this show so far. It's so well done. And it was really unexpected because you really don't see what it's doing until it does it. There's no, again, you could kind of imagine maybe that's where this is going, but it really subverts your expectations in a really fun way.
Agreed. Yeah. You said it. Yes, that character, the Bill Lacey character, abandoned his tubercular wife and two small daughters because he had racked up too much betting, but now he's here for revenge. And you know what? The other thing you said I thought was interesting. I actually was on Tom Noonan's side from the beginning of the episode.
Right. I think that's the point, right?
Yeah.
I also I love Tom Noonan for all the roles you mentioned, Chris, particularly for me, Manhunter, which he's just so goddamn terrifying. He's also the best thing in RoboCop 2. He's always creepy and weird and interesting, and I just fucking loved him here. But I've got a thing about Danny Aiello. I don't know. I just do not like him. Like, I understand he's a skilled actor and he fulfills a role. If the role is Danny Aiello, then it'll be a good performance. And luckily, this role was written as Danny Aiello, so he was perfect for it. But God, that guy just, I don't know, something about him bugs me, man.
He speaks at one pitch, and he just is always at that pitch, I think.
Yeah, and like anytime he has to do anything with his face, it just bugs the shit out of me. Like the fake smile, like he's like pretending to be asleep, pretending to be dead, and then he smiles. Ooh, I'm a whimsical little boy. Like, I don't know. Sorry, Aiello family. I just don't like him.
I have only seen him in one other thing that I can think of, which is Do the Right Thing. And what's funny is
he's
like
great in that.
Yeah, but is that like not just what this character is in a lot of ways?
Yes, that's
like,
what I'm saying. If it's Danny, if your character is Danny Aiello, you're going to get a good performance.
Yeah, but it is kind of one note. But that's why I like that monologue so much, because that's kind of the one moment where he's doing something else. He's being asked to do something else, and that's, I think it works. But I also didn't need to hear him say like 8 million times in this episode, "I'm gonna die laughing." Like, shut up, dude. Like, Jesus Christ, write your fucking will. If you like, because that's the thing at the end. We don't know how much time he's given himself. He apparently gave himself like 5 minutes, is what it seems like.
Yeah,
but it's like there was weird that there was no sense of urgency at the end of the episode when he needed to have a sense of urgency. Clearly, he's like, "I'm gonna die laughing." It's like, just then die already.
Oh,
please.
You know what would have been great had this all happened at daylight saving time period. That would have been great. I forgot to set back the clocks, boss. Yeah,
pretty much what we got, anyways.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk sound, gentlemen. As many of our listeners know, I spent a goodly portion of our reviewing of Night Gallery pointing out the various sound effects that were present with Darkside. I'm going to continue that, but it's going to be a little different. I'm still going with sound cues, but in this case, we're diving into the wonderful world of library music. Romero was always a bit like Ed Wood. Remember that scene with the editor? Like, I could make a whole movie out of this stock footage. Well, he was like that with library music. If you watch any of his films, there's going to be a few stock library cues in there. Most famous is probably this. That is the music that plays over the end titles of Dawn of the Dead. It is called The Gong. Absolutely fucking ruined by Seth Green and his stop motion reference fest Robot Chicken. That was written by a fellow by the name of Herbert Chappell. It's off of his album Seeing and Doing. The habit of using library music, which Romero did frequently. If you watch his episode, the episodes that he cut together in Creepshow, it's all library music, pretty much. I mean, John Harrison fills in a little bit here and there, but anyway, that habit would continue and carry over here on Tales from the Dark Side. All the music cues that they use from libraries are almost exclusively from the Capitol Production Library. It's since '94, it's been called the Old George Company. But anyway, Capitol was this version of Capitol was founded back in 1956 by a guy named John Seeley with the release of the High Q record series. Those were music cues that could be used by, any production. If you watch Night of the Living Dead, it's all high Q. Every track in that movie is a high Q track. But by 1964, most of those tracks, which had been available to everyone, had been used by and cannibalized and overused by shows like Yogi Bear and Ozzie and Harriet and Howdy Doody. So over the next decade, they amassed hundreds of hours of incidental music by dozens of composers. The one I'm singling out is a Danish fellow by the name of Ebe Glindemann. To call Mr. Glindemann prolific is an insult to the productive. He put out a vast amount of music I guarantee you've heard in dozens upon dozens of films and TV shows and shorts and documentaries. Here's one that appears both in Creepshow and Tales from the Dark Side. That's off the Mystery and Suspense album from Capitol Records. Here's another one. All right, moving on. Here, you've all been waiting for it. Ready? This one is called Mookie and Pookie. This is season 1, episode 5. It debuted November the 4th, 1984, written by Dan Kleinman from a story by Kleinman and Mark Fields. This one was directed by Timna Ramone. This one stars Justine Bateman, Tippi Heddren, Ron Asher, and George Sims. It's the tale of a twin brother and sister who are separated by death, but reunited through that bleeding edge technology I mentioned earlier. Mr. White, what did you think of this one?
For as much as I liked the previous episode, this one was a little tough. I mean, again, luckily it zips along. It doesn't feel like we're belaboring the point. But if anything, I would have liked a little bit more. I got to make sure I'm saying the right one. I would have liked a little bit more Mookie in this episode. Wow, you're just talking about do the right thing. And now we're talking about Mookie in this. So I would have liked a little bit more Mookie to see the relationship between him and his sister a little bit more and just get a little bit more of this character, because as it is, it just feels like Justine Bateman versus George Sims through so much of this. And I don't know, it was kind of odd. And it felt like time was passing very, very quickly as far as I want to sell this computer and, how many days has it been since the son died and all this. And so, yeah, it just felt a little messy. Overall, I didn't think it was that bad, but I mean, also, I don't know when the idea of uploading your consciousness into the computer network was first around. Maybe this is one of the first stories, but by 2024, I've seen this story 1,000 times of people trying to live on through being in a network. I mean, hell, Johnny Depp did it a few years ago, and boy, wasn't that a fun time.
Transcendence. I remember that movie.
You're one of the few.
Yeah. That's a nice way of putting it. I wonder why Jason Bateman didn't play her brother in this episode. Right? Did anyone else?
5-minute role.
Yeah. I did
he was
not
busy filming his series at the time.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Well, at least he wasn't filming Teen Wolf 2 at the time.
Maybe he was.
Other than the fact that Jason Bateman's not in it when he should have been, given that they're playing like twins, the names alone are so goofy that you've got to get past the name of the episode being Mookie and Pookie. Fine. Okay. What does that tell us about what the episode is about? Nothing, other than there's going to be two characters named Mookie and Pookie. And then when we get to the episode, it's such a, like you said, Mike, like such a boilerplate story at this point. That's a glitch. It's a computer word. Mookie uses it all the time. Like, oh, no, this is Unix. I know this. Like, oh, you fucking yoy. But I mean, I get it. It's 1984 and it's late 1984. So computers are the magic of the day. But God, it feels like such an anachronistic episode at this point. Like a voice synthesizer. Mother, don't let her do this. Like,
how did she order this?
Yeah, well, B-17 bomber. Like, okay, like I don't know. Like the idea that it was that we're never even gonna see him again. It's just gonna be like readouts on a screen was shocking to me. That's where this ended up going. I found it to be rather boring, just because like it was so obvious what this was. Again, to me, as someone watching it, 40 years on, obviously 1984, a little different, but not much of anything really. Like it's fine, but you've seen this story a million times now if you're watching this in a contemporary setting.
This episode horrified me as a child. This was certainly my first introduction to the idea of uploading one's consciousness into a computer. This was 1984. I hadn't fucking heard of it. I was 11. And, I agree that story's been done 1 million times since then, but I do appreciate that this was on American television in 84 and, was an interesting concept at the time. But you're right, Chris. Magic is in the form of computers in the 1980s. And we're going to see it quite a few times here. But we've seen it already in Twilight Zone 85, a bunch and anything. Oh, the irony. Young Justine Bateman pleading with us to embrace technology as a savior.
AI, essentially, too. Did not miss the irony there. Like, oh, what will you be doing 40 years from now, Justine Bateman? Like, fighting the good fight against that dirty AI. Do you think that she thinks about that when she's like up there giving speeches? She's like, and something, my brother Mookie.
Damn you, Mookie. Mookie started it all.
Mookie in the end.
I would love to have an audio clip of Mookie, just play it at a press conference or something. Stop. Help.
Let Pookie finish, Dad. It's more funny. Like, I laughed throughout the entire episode because all the weird little like computer interacting as the brother is just funny. It has aged so poorly. And it like the dad and mom reacting, and then like those musical stings that they play underneath, like, oh yeah, like he's in the computer, mom. Don't you believe me? No, mom, stop. Like, oh my God, he's there. It's like, oh God. These people are so astounded by the simplest things.
What I thought was funny is that Mookie is basically interacting with the family via technology anyway. He's sick in bed upstairs. He's talking to them through an intercom. And then by the end, I think the dad should be happy. The computer's an upgrade. At least he can see his moves on whatever board game they're playing now.
Voyager, Dad.
I watched this.
Yeah. I kept thinking of V'ger from Star Trek: The Motion Picture. This is V'ger.
Justine Bateman, I got to say, is actually pretty great here. I watched this a couple of times, and I think she's a solid throughout. But then a couple of times, she is absolutely sinister. Like, if you take a look at how the look she gives her father when he's finally accepted that her brother is now part of this computer, I thought at that moment, Justine Bateman could basically just murder these two with an axe right now, and it wouldn't be out of place. Like, it was that sinister a look. I thought that was very impressive. I liked the fact that right outside her hallway there was a framed photograph of the sun, but it was like a sunset and it was all red and basically looked like the HAL 9000. I thought that was an interesting touch. Look, here's the thing. They have
He's digging, folks.
They have Tippi Heddren in this episode, and she just plays the sort of supportive mom, like browbeaten by the dad. And all I kept thinking was, why didn't they switch those roles? Why didn't they make the mom the one trying to get rid of the thing and her fighting with it, and and the dad the one holding out hope? It would have been a little more interesting. Would have given Tippi Heddren a little more to do than just sort of like look pensively through every scene.
I love that scene at the end, though, where the dad comes in and he's like, I got this letter from Mookie. Here, read this. It's God. Pookie, I am going away now. My planet needs me. Let dad sell the computer. Mookie wouldn't write that. No shit. And the fact that it is weird because the dad, like the amount of antagonism coming from the dad, I get. But he's not in the episode enough. Like, it should have been Tippi Heddren, because like, why have her in this episode otherwise? Like, really, like, what a thankless role to give such a great actress. Like, I mean, really, what thankless roles to give all these actors in this episode? Because again, like, even the dad just kind of being a stereotypical shithead dad is, again, they don't do much with it. Like, if anything at all, frankly.
Why was the dad not ready? Like, as soon as Mookie was available in the computer, he should have been talking to them. Ask me something no one else would know, Dad.
Exactly.
Like,
are you there? Are you there? Are you like? Stop asking if he's there. Like, what is that going to prove? I'm sorry. What?
Like, why is he Michigan J frogging the entire time? Just like, oh, I know someone's coming. I'm not going to sing anymore. Like, what?
You said you had a talking donkey. Why isn't the donkey talking? Like, yeah,
maybe I ought to said DiMaggio.
Well, I don't understand why he didn't. Why didn't he say anything? He never makes that clear. He's like, well, why haven't you? It's like, Dad, but like, Dad, what? Like, what about Dad? Like, I don't think this guy, like, even up until the moment, like, he's about to unplug the computer, which, by the way, would not do anything realistically if he's in the network.
Right.
But he waits until the last possible moment to tell him. And it's like, but why?
I mentioned that this kind of freaked me out as a kid. It was only reinforced a couple of years later when Alan Moore started doing John Constantine Hellblazer. One of his early stories, one of his friends does this. He logs it. He gets his consciousness into a computer in order to figure out something for Constantine. When he's in there, his body ends up dying and he's stuck in there. And Constantine switches the thing off at the end, like effectively de-resing him. It was so fucking horrific.
But he's in the network here. He's in the network.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's kind of like the end of that really incredible movie. I think it's called Under Siege 2: Dark Territory, whereby shooting the monitor, you are stopping the programming from running. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ew.
It's here. Don't unplug the voice synthesizer or he won't be able to gargle once in a while.
No, Dad. He won't be able to say, no, Dad, in robot voice.
Here's one thing I did like. It would have been easy to portray the Pookie character as getting more and more feral because this is over like, they do sort of mark the time in the episode. The father says she's done this all summer long. So, and Mookie died at the beginning of the summer. So we're figuring like 3 months she's been up in that room, but she's always taken care of herself, which makes me even more on her side when her dad is being a dick, because it's not like she's out, like in a bathrobe.
Howard using herself.
Yeah. Like
she's been up there for a couple weeks now. Like,
how dare she?
It's the summertime, asshole. Like,
have you heard like she's morning?
Like what? She's not out at the riding academy, so we got to freak out about her that she's up there, perhaps learning a skill with these computers that will benefit her for the rest of her life.
I love the way they frame it too. Well, now that your brother's dead, we can't afford for you to go to that camp. It's like, wow, yeah, I'm real excited now to know that because we don't have to take care of my sick brother anymore, I can go have a fun summer. Like, maybe Mom, just leave that part out. Just leave the part out why we can afford it now.
I said the quiet part loud.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin's death will be funding this? No, pass.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't care what I'm getting to do. I'm good. This seemed like something from Night Gallery. I'll say that. Like this. It's in terms of like not like the writing, but kind of like that like quaintness of it at the end. It's like this is not a scary story at all. Like there's nothing about this that's scary, right? I know you said, Father Malone, like
the concept of it was
right. But like the thing is, like compared to like what we just saw with the odds or like the painkiller or what we're going to talk about on the next episode, like what are the stakes here? Like that the guy who's dead will be even more dead than he already is.
Will be deader still. Don't you understand?
Yeah. We can't communicate to him anymore through this giant VCR box.
I love that at the end of this episode, that he has effectively beaten death. He's now immortal. And what are they doing? Playing board games. Come on, Kevin. I'm not going to call you Mookie anymore.
What is the moment with the dad where he's like, you stay out of it, Kevin.
Kevin is eventually going to be able to look at all the corners of the internet and then determine that we don't deserve to live anymore, like Ultron.
Sequel
Skynet,
period.
all of us.
Yes. And suddenly it's going to be Princess Pookie. Thank you very much.
All right. On the next episode of Midnight Viewing, we'll be taking a look at 2 episodes from season 1. Those are Slippage and Inside the Closet. Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, is a proud member of Weirding Way Media, and our theme song was composed by the always reliable, always fantastic Mr. HP. Until next time, what are you working on? Where can people find it? Mike White.
Well, you already said it. WeirdingWayMedia.com. You can find all the stuff that I work on, including the weekly movie show that I've been doing for a little bit called The Projection Booth. So that's where some people know of me when I'm not working on White Lotus.
How about you, Chris Stachiw?
Yeah, weirdingwaymedia.com is where you can find me and all the various and assorted things that I work on, including also a weekly movie podcast, some monthly shows, some bi-weekly shows. All can be found there, and a lot of stuff that none of us work on that are made by equally as entertaining and fun people over at weirdingwaymedia.com. What about you, Father Malone?
Well, as everyone else has mentioned, weirdingwaymedia.com is where you can find all of my podcast forays, including Dark Destinations and audio drama I write and produce. Until next time, try to enjoy the daylight. Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, is a proud member of Weirding Way Media. Our theme song was composed by HP with an assist from Donald Rubenstein and Erica Lindsay. If you want to hear these episodes early and commercial-free, become a patron over at patreon.com/FatherMalone. Not only are the episodes up early, but we have extended interviews and bonus podcasts where we spotlight the best episodes of horror anthologies from every series. But if you just like the show and want to help, please share it with your friends and give us a rating on your favorite podcatcher. Together we'll keep journeying through the places that are just as real, but not as brightly lit.